there is a view that this is going to pressure Putin, but at the same time, it could also pressure prices. We know the EU wants to phase this in over the next 6 months. There will be exemptions as well. But what's the overall impact on OPEC and the market?
Yeah, well, as I mentioned, our expectation by our analysts is 2.8 million barrels per day of Russian crude declines as a result of these measures. Now, there's huge question marks about the willpower actually of the EU to enforce this ban. It's still a lot of uncertainty about whether, how it'll be implemented. We know that obviously a lot of countries are very reliant on Russian supplies, and so some protests from some of the countries in terms of trying to carve out exemptions. How do they actually get this across the line? And then once they do get it across the line, which is kind of expected, how are they going to enforce it? So in terms of OPEC plus, we're talking to delegates about this. For now, as I mentioned, Russian exports have held up so far, even as production is already starting to decline. And for them, they see no reason to actually change their policy in anticipation of these moves by the EU and other sanctions impacting Russian crude production. They're kind of in a wait and see mode. And plus, they look at the situation in China, where we've got these renewed lockdowns, these harsh lockdown measures imposed by Beijing to try and contain this outbreak of COVID-19 that they're seeing. And that's going to have an impact on demand. So, these kind of dueling forces, you've got the Russian impacts and then you've got the Chinese demand impacts. And without clarity on the quantity of oil that's going to be affected by both those measures, they see no reason to change course at this time.
Exactly. And another key question is exactly where are those Russian barrels going to land if they're not heading into Europe, given the demand concerns that we see emanating out of Asia, given the situation in China. But Herman, I also just wanted to change track here and ask you about this NOPEC bill that is seemingly making progress in the United States. Explain to me why this is so significant. We know this conversation has been around for decades, but what is the potential impact on the market and on producers?
Yeah, just one quick note, as you mentioned about those changing flows. We're seeing a lot of discounted Russian crude go to Asian markets now. That's shifting from the Europe market to Asia, especially India, and that puts them in direct competition with a lot of OPEC members, Saudi Arabia, UAE, especially Iraq, that see Asia as a key market, obviously with the demand growth happening there. And so that's a bigger battleground now, and we're going to see some flows perhaps shift from the Middle East countries over to Europe as a result of this. Now, on your point about NOPEC, this is a bill that, as you say, has come up in several decades now, and has been more of a messaging bill, more of a warning shot to NOPEC. Well, now we've got a rising, oil prices, record diesel prices in the U.S. right now, and soaring inflation that we've been talking about, and this is sort of the perfect storm for a bill like NOPEC to actually, to potentially pass. Now we did have some cautionary remarks out of the White House yesterday in the wake of that Senate panel passing that bill overwhelmingly with bipartisan support and sending it to the full Senate. The White House, Jen Psaki, the White House press secretary, is saying that, the White House is examining this. There are some concerns about the impact, the trickle-down impact and the side effects, as you will, of passing a bill like this. That's, you can't. It's not just aimed at OPEC. It is aimed at OPEC, but the effects that would have on the U.S. Oil sector, prices, a lot of factors. But so even as there is momentum behind this bill, that perhaps for the first time in a long time that this bill could actually pass the Senate, still remains to be seen what the White House will do with it.